A good understanding of spacing and ranges is key to playing high-level Street Fighter. It's a fundamental skill for playing neutral, and it can also help you to alter your game plan for a specific matchup. In this video, I'm going to cover what spacing means. I'm then going to talk about how to get comfortable with your character's moves to understand your ideal range, and then use that to inform how you play neutral. Then I'll talk about how you can learn your opponent's ideal range and use that to change how you approach each matchup. Finally, I'm going to talk about how you can use your knowledge of spacing to create openings and get hits. Spacing is the skill of understanding the range of your character's moves and applying that to the game. A player with good spacing will ensure that they're always playing in the ideal range for the situation. A player with bad spacing will often find themselves pressing moves that are out of range or walking into their opponent's buttons. Although spacing is a skill that you'll develop instinctively over time, it's also something that can be improved faster through deliberate practice. The first step to improving your spacing is to learn the ranges of your character's moves. The training stage has marks which can be useful for measuring distance. There's also the website Ultimate Frame Data, which shows videos of each move on the training stage. Spend some time playing around in training mode and get a feel for the range of the following moves. Your longest range poke. Your pressure starters, such as plus on block moves or moves that create mix-ups. Your fastest moves, for example your lights. Your best low options, especially crouching medium kick if you have access to crouching medium kick drive rush. Moves which can be spaced for better frame data. And any other moves you like to press a lot in neutral. Make sure you're comfortable with these moves before you move on. So now we know the distance of our important moves, how do we determine our character's ideal range? Your character's ideal range is the range where they have access to their best tools. The ideal range is going to vary a ton from character to character. As extreme examples, Dalsim likes to be almost full screen, whereas Zangief likes to be so close he can headbutt you for a strike throw mix-up. You want to be in range to use your pokes and pressure starters. You also want to be able to use your lows to prevent the opponent walking back, but not too close that the low can be punished. Visualize the range of your moves as a box that's ideal for your character to be standing in. You don't generally want to be further than your longest ranged poke or closer than your best button, but it depends on the matchup. Knowing your character's spacing only really gives you half the information. To really determine the best place to stand, you need to consider your opponent as well. You don't need as deep a knowledge of your opponent's buttons as you do of your own, but you should generally know the range of their longest poke, their pressure starters, and any character-specific tools like the range at which Bison's Scissors or Terry's Knuckle is safe. You should also consider if your opponent has any tools like fireballs or dive kicks which can give them an edge at longer ranges. Using the same ideas you can use to determine your own range, you can determine your opponent's character's ideal range as well. You can think of your range and their range as two overlapping zones. You want to play in the area that's a good range for you, but not a good range for your opponent. Keep in mind that your opponent will be doing the same thing, they're not just going to stand still. Consider move speed as well. The higher your move speed, the easier it is to get into your ideal range and out of your opponent's. After playing for a few rounds, you may notice that your opponent favours certain buttons over others. This can change where the best place to stand is. For example, if you notice your opponent does a lot of heavies, you may want to play further away to try to force a whiff, as these buttons are easily whiff punishable. On top of just knowing where your opponents will play, you can use this info to create openings. Consider how your opponent moves and if you can punish that. For example, if they keep walking out of your range, you can use crouching medium kick drive rush to punish them for a full combo. If your opponent is overeager to press buttons, you can force whiffs by moving in and out of their range. This is especially powerful with fast characters like Akuma and Kami. You can also employ spacing traps. This is where you do a minus or punishable move out of range of your opponent. When they try to take their turn back, they'll whiff and you can punish them. Bison's Scissor Kick is perhaps the best example of this, but it's also how characters like Ed can punish you for trying to take your turn even though you're technically at advantage. The better you know your spacing, the less likely you are to fall for spacing traps. Spacing is a rewarding skill to master. It's one that will take a long time to develop and is almost impossible to truly perfect. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you all next time.